India was amongst the first few countries in the world that had a production ready electric vehicle back in 1999.
Yes.
75% of the fuel that you burn in a diesel vehicle is not going towards propelling the vehicle forward.
Correct.
This is Y2K.
Right.
Half of India is moving to the US.
And you're
And I'm
coming back.
coming back. So NASA actually funded my PhD.
Good day, everyone. This is Maxson Lewis, your host on Max on Mobility. And on today's episode, I have an interesting personality, someone whom I have looked up to in the EV space, Dr. Amitabh Saran. Have I introduced you right? Doctor. And we are going to get to
Perfect.
how doctor, but someone who's a multi-time entrepreneur, if I were to say that, right?
That's true.
And I'm going to attempt, with your permission, Amitabh, I'm going to attempt to just introduce you because there's so many facets to you. And what I have written over here is uh, founder of Altigreen, okay,
True.
one of India's largest electric vehicle three-wheeler in this at this point in time, manufacturer, founder of Buzz in Town, which got sold to Yatra, CTO at Trivium, chief architect at Hewlett Packard, project manager at NASA, which not many people may know about, but you're going to talk about it today. And before that, Philips, TCS, B Computers, and PhD in computer science.
That's
Now,
true.
let me stop talking because this is such a huge list. Amitabh, I want you to introduce yourself to the audience out here because many people look up to you, but they do not know much about you. And exactly how do you end up building up Altigreen or landing over here? First, take us through your professional journey.
Sure. Um, thanks, and thank you for inviting me to Max on Mobility. I have really been looking forward to it. I've been waiting by the calendar side. Ab call karega, ab call karega. Finally, thank you. So, I've been born and brought up in Lucknow.
Okay.
So, like all good Lucknowites, I went to La Martinia College, and then, like all good Lucknowites who wanted to study and get into IITs, I went to St. Francis College.
Okay.
Because La Martiniere, you go for discipline and all the other stuff, and then you go to St. Francis in Lucknow. Um, I did that, and lo and behold, good in math. So my future was decided by the India of that time, and I'm talking about 1985 is when I finished my 12th standard, and I did get into IITs, but my rank in IITs in the All India rank was low. I was getting metallurgy in IIT Kanpur.
Uh-huh.
I remember I was getting some mechanical in IIT BHU and Kharagpur.
Mhm.
Being from UP back in 1985, my fate was decided on the borders of UP.
Okay.
By then, I got selected in this in the RECs. So I had the second rank in the CET exam, because of which I got computer science in NIT Allahabad.
Okay.
That's why I did my undergrad, and I started working for TCS first.
Okay. Got it.
This was in Delhi and Bombay. Um, but I got an opportunity to go to Singapore with Philips, and so I left TCS and I joined Philips in Singapore. They posted me in Thailand. I was working on the, you'll be surprised to know, the ATM network
Okay.
of Thailand back in 1990.
Okay.
But that academia bug, I think it was always there. I
Mm.
wanted to study a little more, and that's when I decided to pursue a PhD in the US. Didn't know anything, non-internet days. This is so it was just weird. Just asked a few people, applied to a few schools. Luckily, got through the University of California
Okay.
and Santa Barbara campus. And those
Oh, that's
who
a
don't,
beautiful campus.
not just beautiful, Santa Barbara campus was featured in uh, the most infamous magazine of our time,
Mhm.
for the partying nature
Yes,
of the institution.
that's what I meant by beautiful.
So, by the way, it is really beautiful because the campus is right on the beach, on
Yes.
the coast, California coast, Santa Barbara. So anyway, I fortunately for me, I got a RA ship
Okay.
as soon as I entered because I had about 4 years of experience. I knew about Oracle, I knew about tandem systems, I knew programming,
Mhm.
which is not the case with most students who show up there. Fortunately for me, there was a grant that was just announced from the National Science Foundation
Okay.
and NASA.
Okay.
So NASA actually funded my PhD. So
I think people need to know that for someone to be NASA funding your PhD, I mean that
uh,
means you
uh,
cross those thresholds, right?
actually, it's not like that at all. There are a lot of. It just depends on your advisor.
Okay.
If your advisor is good, these are national funding institutions.
Hmm.
The National Science Foundation, NASA, they fund a lot of projects.
But nonetheless, there's just so much pride in someone.
There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
To be funded by NASA, and this was the Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland. They were the ones who were doing this. Um, this, the strange thing that people, when they ask me about NASA, you think that NASA, you enter the place and there are rockets firing
Rockets
off
flying
here
all
and
over.
there. It's a country, right? The only thing about NASA is they are looking at such forward-looking technologies. I'm talking about 92,
Hmm.
right? 92, 93. There were people who were working on wireless keyboards and wireless mouse. This is
So,
pre-Windows. Windows was launched in 1995. Windows 95 was the launch of Windows, if you remember, on Microsoft, right? 1992, 93, people were working on wireless keyboards.
wow.
I mean, why I know this because I was sitting there and I was waiting for something, and then I saw a machine and I said, "Can I check my email?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And while I'm typing, suddenly the cursor is moving, things are changing, and I'm like, "What is going on?" And this guy laughing behind because he has a keyboard and he's messing around with it. So I'm just saying they're very, very, they spend a lot of money in doing all kinds of research in all kinds of domains. A lot of the domains have nothing at all to do with space
Hmm.
research, but they know sometime or the other
It
they
will
will
just come
they will
together.
merge, right? Networks and this and that. So anyway, so they funded my PhD. My PhD was on distributed systems,
Okay.
computer science. But anyway, I did that, and so 4 years of that, and then it was natural for me, and they also requested that I continue to work with them. I did that, but I think somewhere there was a calling. I don't know. There has always been this call of India, and I think very soon I realized. So I did, move over to Hewlett Packard in the US, and with them I moved back to India.
Okay.
So I had moved back to India. Most people don't know this, but back in '97 itself,
Okay.
1997, 98 is when I had moved back to India. This is Y2K.
Right.
Half of India is moving to the
Moving to
US,
US. And you're
and I'm
coming back.
coming back.
So the Garvapsi happened for you much earlier than what
People
people.
were asking, "Kya hua, boss? What, you don't get a job after doing a PhD or something? Why are you coming back?" I'm like, "Nahin, this is the call."
Okay.
You know, these are, I've always maintained, these are things that you can't rationalize.
Hmm.
A decision to move back, I would say, even today, honestly, even today, you cannot rationalize a decision of moving unless you have it really, really bad in the US, unless you are an illegal there and you don't have a future, you don't have a job, you have nothing of those, right?
Hmm.
And then you say, okay, yeah. Otherwise, to move back from there, lock, stock, and barrel to India today will still have to be an irrational decision. You cannot rationalize a decision like this. I have to say this, unfortunately, that is the situation. I wanted to do that. I wanted to Deshbhakt, Mera Bharat Mahan types.
Okay.
I do remember I was working at HP in Bangalore in HP ISO. That was when my tryst with Bangalore started
Okay.
back in 1997, 98. I thought that, I need to serve people and all that. So, kurta, pajama, jhola, I will go to villages, I will teach people.
Okay.
I think it lasted about a month. And it became clear that I like air conditioning places. I like a crisp white shirt also. And hence, I decided that my sphere of influence, whatever is my sphere of influence, is what I will try to change. I'll be honest about it. Didn't matter who, but within my networks at HP, I decided to, change things. I do remember one of the things, for example, I did change at HP. I'm not proud of it, but 1999, I was leading a project that was across four different geographies. This was Australia, India, UK, and the US. The entire project was driven out of US time.
Okay.
Musibat,
Uh-huh.
right? Everybody waking up at night and doing all kinds of calls and this and that. Unfortunately for them, they made me the head of the project.
Okay.
The first thing I did was project will now run on India
India
time.
time. Wow. Wow.
Poor guys had to, sit. Their houses are wood houses, right? The voice echoes a lot at night. So they had to sit in their cars inside their garages just to take these calls.
Wow.
But, it was just, no, I mean, too bad, guys.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know. I mean, these things are unexplained. They're tiny,
Correct.
but it's about
What you,
that psychology.
hmm.
I'm telling you, that is where India needs to change.
And we're going to cover a lot about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway, so
Especially in the context of EV and mobility, and that's what I'm going to
seriously,
draw you out.
really. So I realized that one of the things to increase my sphere of influence would be when I created my own companies or I did my own startups. I got the first opportunity in 99 2000 when I co-founded the India operations of a US-based startup. This is Trivium. By the way, Trivium also got acquired by Provona.
Okay.
Um, so, um, so this was making products in India. 1999. The only product companies that you could hear of in India in 1999 were Finacle from
Yes.
Infosys. There was Tally
Tally.
from India. You could name them on
Yes.
just two or three
Absolutely.
product companies. And we said, no, we will build a product company in India to sell products to US and Europe. And you'll be surprised, we had 8,000 customers across US and Europe using these products. These were in computer telephony, voice over IP, CRM, those kinds of things. So anyway, we made these products. By around 2007-8, we were 9 quarters profitable. We had acquired a company. We were growing rapidly. So at that point, I decided that I wanted to get back to technology again. I started this Buzz in Town. This became India's largest, network for, all things related to entertainment, lifestyle, and leisure.
Okay.
So I built this because in those days, if you're looking for entertainment options, the only thing you would do is say, okay, let's do a movie and dinner. Right? But there's so much happening in every city, right? In Chaudia, in Rangashankara, in all kinds of places. And this is true across India. So we did this across 18 cities in India and 19 cities in US and Canada, focusing only on the Indian diaspora and events related to Indians in these geographies.
Got it.
What else is there? Just let people know. Then you decide. You shouldn't go to watch a movie just because you have no knowledge that there's an excellent play running in Chaudia. So I did that, and that was acquired by Yatra in 2011, 2012.
So that was a span of how many years?
About 4 years.
4 years. You were able to build a company and also.
Yes, to make the exit from it, because Yatra was obviously still doing very, very well. And they realized that the stickiness wasn't there. When a customer used to buy a ticket, he would buy a ticket on the basis of whatever deal he got. So if today you got a deal from MMT, you would go to an MMT.com or an Ixigo or wherever, right? And so the stickiness was not there. Now, if Yatra knew that he's buying a ticket for Max, going to Mumbai for the next 8 days, then I know you're in Mumbai from 10th to 18th. Can I offer you information about things to do in Mumbai during those 8 days?
Yes.
Do you want to continue to pile up on your relatives and friends, or do you want to do things independently? And then I can tell you, okay, you're looking for hotels. These are the hotels. And by the way, these are the events happening in town. And by the way, if you need a cab, I can also arrange this for you that can take you around. And if you want tickets, they can also be arranged. It's all there. So then there's a stickiness, right? And when you go back to Bangalore, then I can continue to send you this because I know that local Bangaloreite hai, but I can still give you information about Badin town. Anyway, so made a lot of sense. They did that, and at that time is when I literally changed gears, and I decided that I had been passionate about the environment and automobiles,
Right.
and so I started looking at the environment and automobiles, and
And
Altigreen was born about a year and a half after that.
so which year, which month?
So the company was acquired in December 11, and I had my golden handcuffs for the next 1 year. I couldn't finish that period, and so 2012 onwards, we started looking at and trying to figure out what we should do in this space, and I can talk about it when we talk about Altigreen. But so 2013, 8th February is when we officially launched Altigreen in India. 2013, 8th February.
So are you telling me that
Yes.
even before India knew the full form of electric vehicle, you had started working on it, and you were, and was that time Altigreen also purpose to be this the company that it is today, or was it something?
No, it was totally different, Max. And I have to just take a step back and remind you. India was amongst the first few countries in the world that had a production ready electric vehicle back in 1999.
Yes, absolutely.
This country, Chetan Meni had created the Reva
Not many
in
people.
1999. By 2010, it had been acquired by Mahindra.
Mahindra.
And whatever they try to do with it is a different thing. I am starting to look at the space in 2011, and I'm saying, what happened here?
Hmm.
I mean, this was a vehicle, I might not agree with the looks, but it's a EV. People bought it in 14 or 20 countries. People bought it. It wasn't that successful in India, but what happened? Where did it go wrong?
Hmm.
Why did it not do what we're supposed to do? So there was a lot of work that could be done as an example to figure out ki, acha, when I am doing my company, then what should I be doing?
Brilliant.
What should I keep away from? Maybe this is not the right thing to do. Do's and don'ts. A lot of those things could be figured out. And so when we started this, the first thing we did was say, ki, nahi boss, we won't make a vehicle.
Okay.
ये नहीं हो पाएगा.
Huh.
This is too big. And there's already an example of a guy who's been doing this for 11, 12 years, wrapped it up
Mm-hmm.
or merged it with a larger entity, and they're doing whatever they're doing with it. So I think at that point, we. So one thing that I have been very, very conscious about has been the environment,
Okay.
and we approached the entire problem from the perspective of the environment. I'm talking about 2011. There was a report that came out that said that 1.3 million people
Mm-hmm.
lost their lives early in India
Okay.
because of poor air quality.
Got it. Correct.
1.3 million in 2011 because of poor air quality, and about 20% attributed to road transport. ठीक ठीक बहुत अच्छी बात. 1.3 million and 20% of that's a staggering number. That's about
Right.
200, 250K.
And it's not visible to many because it doesn't show up, right? It just shows
होता
up
ही
in the
नहीं.
statistics, but not really. It's so
It's like
connected. Yeah.
it's 2.5 to 3 lakh people
Hmm.
who lose their life because of poor air quality as a result of road transport. So we said if every vehicle were to become electric from tomorrow, we would still continue to lose 300,000 people every year because of the transportation pollution that was already
Already
there for
existing.
the existing vehicles.
Yes.
So यार ये क्या मतलब?
Hmm.
And then we look at the list of cities, and then you realize, of the top 20 most polluted cities of the world, 14 were in India.
India.
Top 20 mein 14. Very, very unhappy, very sad. And we said, okay, we'll focus on doing something for the existing lot of vehicles.
Okay.
And those vehicles that are plying inside your cities. So it's only people. So the whole argument, okay, we'll break it up into two.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So we said, okay, why is it that diesel generates so much smoke? Why?
Hmm.
Why is diesel too bad for you? First of all, the compounds, the exhaust of diesel
Particulate
contains,
matters. Yeah.
yeah, PM 2.5, which is
Yeah.
so tiny. And I want our viewers to know this. The particle is so tiny that when it goes into your lungs, into the alveoli of your lung, it can't be flushed from that.
Hmm.
It will always be there, always. So it doesn't matter. And that's why they say, as a kid, as a child, when you are, breathing this in, it is going to be there for the rest of your life. And that is why people are losing their lives early,
Got it.
because it can't be flushed out. It's there always. PM
So if
2.5.
once it's in, it's in.
It's
That's
in.
diesel based particulate
Particulate
matter.
matter. It's always there. PM 2.5. Anyway, so it was clear that we needed to do something about it. Now, what do you do about it? We are not going to make EVs. So, what can we do with the existing lot of diesel vehicles that we have?
Mhm.
So, that's when we decided, okay, what we'll do is we'll make an electric kit,
Okay.
okay, which contains a motor, controller, battery pack. So, make the entire kit and have that kit work next to the existing diesel engine of a vehicle. So, take a vehicle, we won't touch the vehicle. We'll embed our electric kit alongside the diesel engine.
Kind of an hybrid that you were trying to
So,
build.
a hybrid. Right? But why that?
Hmm.
Because when a diesel engine operates, the max efficiency of most diesel vehicles in our country and across the world, because defined by the Carnot cycle
Carnot
and all that,
cycle. Yes.
exactly, is about whatever 22, 23,
26%
24.
maximum, whatever.
Max is that.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we are nowhere close to getting there. Right?
Correct.
So, 75% of the fuel that you burn in a diesel vehicle is not going towards propelling the vehicle forward.
Correct.
Fact. ठीक है?
Absolutely. Spot on.
100 रुपए में से 75 रुपीज 75 रुपए उड़ा रहे हैं.
उड़ा रहा है.
गवर्नमेंट चेंज हो जाती है 5-10 रुपए फ्यूल के प्राइस पे. 75 रुपीज यू बर्न एंड नो वन आस्क्स क्वेश्चन अबाउट दैट.
Correct.
वो तो ऐसा ही है भाई, क्या कर
हाँ.
सकते, वो तो ऐसा ही होगा. So we said, okay, if there's 75% of wasted energy, where is that energy going in making that sound, that vibration, that heat, that
Heat,
noise, all that
all of that.
is what
Energy
is it's coming from your gas,
correct.
by the way.
Correct.
Right? So everything, every time your tires screech, it's coming from your, everything is coming from your petrol engine. और कहीं से energy नहीं आ रही. So can we reuse some of that energy
Mhm.
and convert that energy into electric energy,
Okay.
and then use the electric energy to run the motor, and the motor works alongside the engine? See, you have a gearing system in vehicles, right? Why? Because 2200, 2300, most petrol cars, is the ideal architecture.
So, Dr. Amitabh Saran, this has been a great conversation. And to all our viewers out there, this is this is what we had time for. Part one of our conversation with the Dr. Amitabh Saran. Till we meet next time, thank you so much.